So another shout out today. This one here is from
Oh, sweetie, what you doing?
getting ready for the trip coming up.
Yeah, I see that. Speaking of the trip, I was curious, what's it going to cost us to run that bike? Like, what's the mileage?
That's a good question. I seem to remember figuring that out last year. So I've taken a number of different rides on the Pan America here where I measured the kilometers and the fuel economy that I was getting. Now, not every place in the world tracks it the same way. Here in Canada, we do how many liters per 100 kilometers. In the US, it's miles per gallon, and there's several places in the world that still do it miles per gallon. And the difference there is some places do miles per imperial gallon, and in the US, it's miles per US gallon. And the US gallon is roughly 3.8 liters, and an imperial gallon's about 4.5 liters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some charts on the bottom when I'm talking about the fuel economy I got on different trips and the different speeds I was going. Oh, what a gorgeous view. So the very first time I did a fuel economy check on the Pan America, I only had about 300 kilometers on the bike, so the engine was still pretty fresh. So that was on the trip where I did the 1K in a day, the 1,000 kilometers in a day from Alberta back to BC. So the very first leg was from Red Deer to Banff, and that was early morning. And we did about 120 kilometers an hour all the way there. And that, when I got to Calgary and heading west, it was a pretty windy day all the way until Banff. There's a nice little waterfall with all the rain we've been getting lately. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of them today. So the second leg of the trip was from Banff to Revelstoke, and on that stretch right there, it was a bit slower of a ride. I guess we averaged probably about 100 kilometers an hour, but we went across a mountain pass. Then the third stretch of that trip there was from Revelstoke to Kamloops, and that's where the trip was a little bit different because it was so crowded that day. There was so many people on the road, and I think all we could do was about 80 kilometers an hour on average. So it was a lot slower, so the economy went up. The last leg of that stretch was from Kamloops all the way home. And there's a lot of mountain passes to go through there. There's 2 extreme climbs and descents, but the speed is a lot higher. On the Coquihalla, the speed limit's 120. So there's some places there where you keep up with traffic, and you're doing probably, well, I shouldn't say on here how much more you're doing. So the speed went up quite a bit. So then another time where I actually recorded the mileage was the day I went to Kelowna to go get the bike service. So it was up around 2,000 kilometers at that point. So on the trip in the morning, I had it in rain mode because the conditions weren't all that good. So I left it in rain mode all the way to Kelowna because I wanted to see what kind of mileage it gets if you leave there. And the mileage dropped down quite a bit. Now, way back, I put it into highway mode, and the mileage went back up, but I did have to switch it to rain mode again because the conditions were so bad once I got back to the bottom of the Coquihalla, the box canyon there. I'll take a look at this clip and you'll see how bad the weather was. So I'm going to show you at the end of this video what I got for the fuel economy today while I circled around Chilliwack Lake off-road here. So what I'm going to do is I can't remember the numbers while I'm riding here. So I think it was like 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers is what I averaged on that leg. But what I'll do is I'll put it on the bottom of the screen here with the conversions to different ways of measuring fuel economy. And all of these settings I had in highway mode. And that one we got about 4.5 liters per 100. And I think it converts to around 50 miles per gallon, 50 miles per US gallon, I think. The correct numbers will be at the bottom of the screen. And that one I think was about 4.2 liters per 100, and I think it was around 55 miles per gallon US. And that one I can't remember the fuel economy on that one. I think it was still under 5 liters per 100. But again, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. If I remember right, I think I was down to about 42 miles per gallon. And then on the way back, I put it into highway mode, and the mileage went back up, but I did have to switch it to rain mode again because the conditions were so bad once I got back. So I'm going to show you at the end of this video what I got for the fuel economy today while I circled around Chilliwack Lake off-road here. So another shout out today. This one here is from Critter Moto. So he sent a bunch of stickers here, and here's his sticker, Critter Moto. So if you haven't seen his channel before, you got to check it out because he does some really cool off-road stuff. I think he's on Vancouver Island, but he did a series last year in the Coquihalla on these off-road trails, and he might be one of the last ones that did it before all that flooding happened this year. And yeah, it's a pretty cool series. And he sent a note, thanks for the swap, really enjoying your stuff, looking forward to the big trip, keep the shiny side up, Critter. Okay, thanks. So this one's going on the board. There we go, Critter Moto. Check him out on YouTube. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and the view of the trail that I was able to get on today. And we'll see you on the next video.